Good morning, friends. Today we will begin with the chapter Oral Communication. This is the second chapter of our syllabus. So, what is oral communication? Everything that is spoken falls in this category. In oral communication, both exchange their ideas or facts through spoken or oral words, either in face to face conversation or through any mechanical or electrical devices. For example, telephone. When messages or information is exchanged or communicated orally is called oral communication. It is word-based communication system, but in oral form, most of the time we use oral communication. Executive spend 60 to 90% of their time talking to people, face to face conversations, group discussions, counseling, interview, radio, television, telephone calls, etc., is used to express meaning in oral communication. Some definitions of oral communications are as follows. According to Ricky W. Griffin, oral communication takes place in face to face conversations, group discussions, telephone calls, and other circumstances in which spoken words are used to express meaning. Then, according to Bowie and others, oral communication expresses ideas through the spoken words. And third, according to S.K. Kapoor, oral communication takes place when spoken words are used to transfer information and understanding from one person to another. Principles of effective oral communication. Now, effective oral communication is which achieves its intended purpose or objective. If a communication brings desired effect, it can be said to be effective. Whether communication is effective or not can be judged by the feedback in order to make it effective. So, the principles of oral communication are evaluation of a receiver or the audience. Analyze the audience or the receiver before communication. Audience or receiver should be studied for size, age, gender, education, occupation, and knowledge of the subject, attitudes, primary interests, and desires. Selection of subject and mode of communication should be done on the basis of the need of the time, interest of the speaker and listener, that is audience. Then principle of vocabulary. Words bear different meanings to different people in different situations. In oral communication, a speaker should use the most familiar words to the receiver of the message to avoid any confusion in the meaning of the words. Then, clarity and purpose. The purpose of communication should be clear to the sender of the message. Ideas in the message should not be confusing or vague. Communication is never complete and effective unless it is understood by the receiver in the same sense with which the sender conveys it. Then, clear pronunciation. Clear pronunciation of message sender in the main factor or oral communication. If it is not if it is not clear, the goal of the message may not be achieved. Then, natural voice. The speaker must not be fluctuated at the time of oral communication. On the other hand, artificial voice must be avoided. Then, developing ideas. Ideas developed in the message must be put together in an organized form. Example, when the laboratory instructor gives instructions about procedures or experiments, the students will understand only if the instructor maintains in the order or sequence in the steps. Then creative message. The message can be made interesting by using keywords suggestive for understanding purpose and meaning of the message. Then avoid emotions. At the time of oral discussion, excessive emotions can divert a speaker from main subject. So the speaker should be careful about his emotions. The speech must be emotionless. Then completeness and adequacy. For successful implementation of the plans, message communicated should be adequate and complete in all respects. Insufficient or inadequate statement of facts or figures may create misunderstanding. Then, mutual understanding. Communication is a systematic and continuous process of telling, listening, and understanding where sender and receiver should sincerely participate. If there is proper understanding between both, there is effective communication. Then, channel or media adoption. The choice of any communication channel depends upon many factors. Necessity of written record, length of message, desired speed of transmission, cost, availability of channel at both ends are to be considered while selecting the channel. Then appropriate time element. For achieving the expected results, one should consider the element of time factor. Sufficient time must be given to the receiver of the message to decode the message so that expected feedback may be obtained. Then, unity and integration. The unity and integration of the speech of the message sender is a must for successful oral communication. Then, principle of flexibility. The systems of communication should be flexible to suit the changing needs of organization. It should quickly adjust to new techniques and patterns. Then principle of informality. Formal communication in management of any organization should be supported by informal contacts. The communication becomes most effective when managers utilize the informal communication to supplement the formal channels of communication. Then provision of feedback. The sender of the message must try to make it easy for the receiver to give feedback. For example, if a company expects its customers to give written feedback upon the changes in the product, it can be hand over some questionnaire where customers just need to tick mark options. Otherwise, customers won't take efforts to write letters. Then, uh, in the next video, we will discuss characteristics of oral communication. Till then, thank you.